You've got on your side with height, and you've definitely got on your side with weight. Let's settle this once and for all.
Right, so good morning everyone. Welcome to the channel. I've got something a little bit different for you today. I'm going to be having a chat with the world's oldest professional boxer, as recognised by the Guinness Book of Records. His name is Steve Ward. He's age 67. He's from Nottingham but now resides in Mansfield. I'm going to have a little chat with him about this ongoing dispute he's been having with John Fury. So as soon as he arrives, we'll head over and have a chat with Steve, see how he feels about everything and what all the talk has been about, because it has been mentioned a number of times in the press. It's on Talk Sport, the Sun newspaper, the Mail, various other ones, thinking the Daily Mirror. There's various media outlets have been reporting Steve and John's chat. So we'll go over to the world's oldest professional boxer and see what he's got to say about it all.
Good morning. I've had my sausage cob and I'm feeling up to it now.
Right, so Steve's now with me. He's kindly come over. We're going to have a few words, see what he's got to say about his career and this beef with John Fury. Right, first of all, Steve, thank you very much for agreeing to say a few words with me on my channel. Could you tell us a little bit about your career?
Well, my career actually started in boxing when my dad decided he was going to take me to the boxing club because I was getting bullied, constantly bullied. My dad was blind and I took a lot of riff for that. Now, he took me to the local boxing club, the Nottingham School of Boxing, at 9 years old. I didn't want to go. I really didn't want to have anything to do with it, but in them days, you didn't get a choice. You had to do what you was told to do. Mum and Dad were the gaffers, and that was it. So they took me to the Nottingham School of Boxing. That was on Hartley Road, Nottingham. 9 years old, took me up. I was the tiniest one there. I felt really out of it, to be honest with you. And after a couple of weeks of going up, not doing anything, just going up and watching, then they decided to get me training. And the first thing my dad said to the two trainers is, when it gets to the time that he's going to spar, put him in with big lads so they knock him about a bit and toughen him up. I thought, well, I've got this to look forward to already. Straight in
at the deep end, really.
Very much so. I thought, should have taken me a chance with the bullies at school instead.
Yeah.
But I got the most prestigious job of all in that boxing club. I was the baby of the club. And because of that, every night at the end of the evening, I had the job of going and emptying the urine bucket. Down the steps you went, you were watching so it didn't splash you or anything like that. That was Steve's job given to him. No ifs and buts. Now, from 9 years old, I was training with a lot of champions, Dave Needham being one of them. He was the Commonwealth Games gold medalist, and I was training with them all. I was doing all the fitness issues as well. And at 11 years old, I had my first fight. You have to be 11 to fight. And it was, I can remember it like yesterday. His name was Paul Ironmonger. What a name, eh? Tough name. Tough kid, tough name.
Iron Man.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And it was at the Daybrook Working Men's Club, Arnold.
Yep, I know it. I know the area.
Yeah, it was just like Las Vegas to me, being a kid. And I didn't want to fight. I wasn't frightened, nor at all. I just didn't want to do it. But I got in the ring, and it's when smoking was allowed, and you could see the smog above the ring. Oh, it was horrible. The whole thing was lousy. And I won. I beat him. I stopped him in the third round. After that, they were getting me more fights and they were training me harder. I had about 10 fights. I still didn't want to do it, and my dad used to ask me after every fight, do you like it now? I says, no, I hate it. And I had the 10 fights. I won the 10 fights. And on the 11th fight, I can't tell you what it was because I don't know to this day myself. But after the 11th fight, it were quite a battle. I come out on top, and I went to my dad and says, go on then, Dad, ask me. He says, ask you what, son? I says, ask me. He says, do you like it now? I says, no, Dad, I don't. I love it. All at once, I don't know what it was with that fight, but it clicked me on to really enjoying it.
Something clicked and it was in your blood then for the rest of your life.
It certainly was. Well, I had 148 amateur fights, which is quite a big amount.
It's a big number, that, yeah.
I lost 12, I won 136, I had 72 stoppages.
Blimey.
So I'd got a good amateur career there.
That's some record, that is, at amateur level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved it then.
Yeah. When was your last professional fight then, Steve?
Well, I turned pro in 1977. I retired from the professional ring in 1987. At that time I was under Jimmy Gill, the Nottingham promoter. Now, I lost my dad very early in my professional career, a couple of fights into it. And you know, he was my push power, and I didn't realise just how much a bigger part he played. I lost the will to want to do it. I'm not proud of what I'm going to tell you now, but I was turning up for fights and I'd not even seen a training gym. I was just taking him, not bothered, losing the fights what I shouldn't have lost. But in 1987, I'd been chasing a guy to fight him for his area title, Mr. Dennis Sheehan. Both me and him were in the same amateur club together. There was a little bit of grief there, who was the best and everything. But he was protected by Dave Needham because he'd got him under his wing then. And when the fight actually did come, it were a bit of a fluke how it happened, because he done no more than I was phoned up 10 o'clock one morning. Are you fit and well? Jimmy Gill, my manager. I says, yes, I'm perfect. He says, you're fighting tonight. I says, tonight? I says, it's 10 o'clock in the morning now. He says, you're fighting tonight, you're fighting Dennis Sheehan. I says, yep, I'll fight him. Where are we fighting? It was either Granby or Leicester or De Montfort Hall, I'm not too sure now. His opponent had been involved in a car crash. He was top of the bill and they'd sold all the tickets. They needed a stand-in fast and not everybody wanted to fight him. Maybe I was the idiot because I did want to fight him. That area title was there and I wanted that belt.
There's a belt on the line,
Yes.
You're going to go for it, aren't you?
Yes. So I got there and I was greeted by what Mr. Needham said, Dave Needham and Mickey Duff. They done me yet again. Right, the fight is not a title fight because you're not the said and named opponent. I thought, they've done me again. But I thought to myself, well, if I give a good account of myself, win or lose, they've got to let me have the title fight then.
You can have a shot at it another
Makes
time.
sense, don't
Yeah,
it?
of course, yeah.
Well, I went in with him, bigoting Dennis as he were known. I finished him off in 5 rounds. Cut him to bits. The referee had to stop the fight because he was not in a good way to defend himself. So it had to be stopped. I'd won. And I thought, now I'll get the title fight. But you know, he was that well protected. I never got the title fight. So I decided for political reasons I was retiring. 1987 I'd finished. Now when I was going from the ring on that last fight, somebody pulled me to himself. He says, I've followed you through your amateur career and your pro career. He says, I've really enjoyed it. You were a foreign chap. He says, thank you so much. And he put something in my gloves because we were walking up from the actual ring. I'd got me people around me. And he put something in my glove. And when we got back to the changing room, we were talking about the fight and so forth. They were undoing my gloves. I'd forgot all about this in my glove and that.
Yeah.
And when they took my gloves off, a big roll of £50 notes fell out. Well, I can move quick in the ring, but honestly, I moved that fast to pick that up, it nearly hit me on the back of the head going down. I picked them up, I thought, wow. And it's got a piece of paper around it, and the piece of paper was quite straightforward. When you're fed up with being retired, because I announced my retirement from the ring, please feel free to ring this number. Well, a couple of weeks after, I get fed up quick. I phoned the number, and it was an Italian guy. I'm not going to tell you the man's name. It could cause so much trouble. But he offered for me to come down to Buckinghamshire, where he was in residence, and a big limousine come and pick me up. I thought, wow, this is something massive. And I went down, and nice chap, got the servants and everything, real big place. I believe, I'm not dead sure on this, but I believe one of his neighbours, when I say neighbours, I don't mean in seeing distance either, I mean fields away, was Madonna. She got an house there, I believe. But anyhow, from there on, we were going out at night, so they were taking me to places, and they were being generally really good to me. Nothing seedy. And then this one night he says, I'm going to the bare knuckle fights, would you like to come? I says, yeah. Little did I know at that time what was going to occur.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Wanted you to bare knuckle fight.
You've got it. Well, we watched these fights, and to me, it looked like old, well overweight guys just hitting each other, slow. And he said to me, what do you think to it? I says, well, I'm not really impressed at all. I says, they look like the write-offs. He says, would you like to have a go? Not tonight, another time. I said, I'd have to think about that. He says, the money would be good. I says, I'll have a think about it. Well, 2 days later, I was took back home. Now, I spent, well, we'll say over a week, and it was on my mind consistently. I didn't know what to do for the best. But I phoned him up, I says, maybe I would like to have a go. And I was picked up, and I was took down again a couple of weeks after that. He says, I can get you in tonight. He says, are you still training? I says, night and day. I've always trained hard. I train every morning. I'm up 4:15 every morning running. I still am now. I train every night. I says, yeah, I'm A1 fit. I says, I'm not like some of these. They look like slugs in slow motion. And he said, well, do you want to have a go tonight? He says, there's a man you can fight. He says, and I know all about him. I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And they got a doctor. He just gave me a quick once over. Yeah, he's all right, he's all right. Well, I know I was all right anyhow. But then He says, it is bare knuckle, it's not wraps, it's knuckles. So yeah, that's all right. Now, I came out, it's a circle, what I fought him. Not a ring, a circle. Now, I'm trying to think whereabouts it was. It was down south, the south area, anyhow. I can't remember exactly. But I came out, and honestly, you've seen that Any Which Way But Lose with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
When he fights that guy, it was as slow as that, and I'm moving, bobbing, weaving. He's not laying one on me, and I'm just flicking me on that, bang, bang, and every time I hit him, something else were happening to his face. His nose went, his tooth went, his eyes cut. I thought, this is like taking candy off a baby. And I put a combination in, and he went down. Well, there's no corner to go to or anything like that. No referee. To win, you've got to knock him out. He says he's had enough, or the other way. And he got back up, and I went in and I ate him, I don't know, half a dozen times. Everyone were on the button, and he went down, and he was out. He wasn't moving. He was gone. And that was the first bare knuckle fight. And the only things what hurt me were my hands, my knuckles, because when you're hitting dense bone, chin and that, it's going to take its toll.
Yeah.
Well, after that, one thing come to another. I went around the world twice. I was fighting for the Italians. We're not saying no words.
No.
Because the guy who had got me was Italian. I said he was foreign, he was Italian. And I went around the world twice. I'd like to say I had 41 and I won 41.
And these were all bare knuckle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now some of them you could use your feet in, your head, anything like that. You'd always got to watch out for eye gouging, because it did happen sometimes.
So it was similar to what is like today's modern day UFC, a little bit, or was it no? Is it more street?
I'd say
bare
it's
knuckle?
more. It was more nasty than that. There was no holds barred really. You know, it wasn't a good thing.
As brutal as it gets, then basically fighting.
Yeah. And I had 41. I'd like to say I won 41. How it happened, I won the 40, and on that one, I'd got him all over the place. He was on the floor, he didn't know what day it was, and there was a raid. A raid took place. Every man for himself, get the hell out of it. Fun.
Yeah.
So I think I can put that one down as number 41. I won because he wasn't moving at that time. But yeah, it's something where I packed in because I was beginning to get the appetite for it, and it was frightening me.
So all in all then, with your amateur boxing career, the bare knuckle, and your professional career, it's got to be over 300 fights.
I would say, yeah, I could tell you exact 148, probably 200, about 250.
About 250-ish.
I've not finished.
No.
Then, when I finished with all that, I was one of the lucky ones I managed to get out. It had its price, obviously, but I got out. And I wanted to go back pro. Now, the British Boxing Board of Control wouldn't touch me because of my age. So I went to the EBF, European Boxing Federation. I got a friend who was a big manager in it, Mr. John Ashton. Fantastic guy. He's still going now. He's doing it with the EBF. He's also doing it with the British Boxing Board of Control now. So he's doing it all properly. And he gave me a chance. He laughed at me at first because of my age. But I got in with a guy called Andy Myers. Good fighter from Leeds. A very good fighter. He looked like a little Mike Tyson with his hair all raised. It was a bit off-putting. But I beat him, like I stopped him in the last round. And John were amazed. He says, wow. He says, you're an elderly guy who performs like a young kid. Now, I had about 8 fights with the EBF, and I won every one of them.
What age were you on that last fight then? That he said that to you?
Ooh.
Because you're in the Guinness Book of Records, aren't you? As the oldest professional fighter still active.
That was my second fight. My second fight for the EBF. I won the Guinness World Record accolade for being the oldest active professional boxer in the world. Now, it got better and better because I was winning titles and that, and I was keeping the belts because I wasn't being beat. It changed to the oldest active professional boxer and champion in the world. You're talking 60 odd years old.
Yeah.
But I wanted a world title. And I fought this guy from Germany. He just knocked Danny Williams out, the man who knocked Mike Tyson out. And we were fighting 12 3-minute rounds for the WBC, World Boxing, not the council, but it was a WBC belt. And we were fighting for that, 12 rounds. I was 6 rounds in front.
So you're well ahead on points.
Oh God, yeah. He'd been lucky not to be stopped twice. The bell had saved him. 6'9" he was, big lad. Now, the 7th round come out and hit him with an almighty big left hook, and he went back to the ropes. I thought, get him. But I couldn't. I'd ripped my rotator cuff. My arm dropped down. I could hardly lift it. And he seen this and he caught me. I went down, I got straight back up, but the referee says, I'm sorry, Steve. I know a rotator cuff injury when I see it. And he stopped the fight. Now, I didn't like what happened. I had it operated on within 2 weeks after privately. I wanted to fight him again. I want that world title. I went over to Germany, where he come from, to see about making the match. And when I got there, and I spoke to him for the first time since, I knew it was never going to happen because it'd gone punch drunk. And apparently it was the hard hits he took off me what done it. So then, how do I get a world title? There was a Romanian champion undefeated, Andre, I forget the guy's name now.
A Romanian fighter.
Yeah, Adrian Paloge. Good fighter, been behind closed doors as well, got a good rep, not beaten. Thought he's the man.
Eastern European, going to be tough.
He's the man. Well, he'd been giving me hell of a lot of what he's going to do to this English guy and this, that, and the other. Well, to cut it all short, he'd wound me up and I went for him big time. Normally I slide into a fight, see what they've got to offer and then step it up round by round. No.
Straight
He'd
in.
opened his mouth too much, I went straight in. I knocked him out round 1, I put him down 3 times. I broke 3 of his ribs, getting him a severe concussion and a whiplash. Take that back to Romania with you.
Yeah, because a lot of these fights, obviously I've watched quite a bit of boxing on TV over the years. They don't want the event over with as soon as it started, do they?
No.
The punters have paid the money.
That's right.
But
yeah.
you get the occasional one where it's twisted the melon that much, you're straight in, all guns blazing. That's where it was with him, was it?
There were no way I was going to stand by.
No.
I was there to do a demolition job and I meant to do it.
Yeah.
And done him proper. Won the belt, the WLC, the World Legends Championship. I have now just become the Cruiserweight champion. That were in 2001, not long back. Now since then, I've been in little, well, I'll call it a fracas, because I go to Derby, I go to Nottingham, I go to Mansfield, I go to Sheffield, Doncaster, Leicester, and I've had little parties of guys come to me, you know, 4 and 5 guys, all different ones, and they've been saying, you're Steve Ward, aren't you? Well, I've been on TV a lot. I've had about 80 appearances. They've made a film of me. It's won Hollywood and Cannes, and they could have seen it off there. I says, yes, I'm Steve Ward. Yeah, John Fury says he'd do this to you, do that to you. He'd be a far better man than what you are.
And this is from John Fury, is this?
Pardon?
This is John Fury who said this.
John Fury. And I just let it go. I thought, not quite right in the head, all of them. So I let it go. And it's happened numerous times over a year, and it's been getting on my nerves and building up.
It's been needling you.
Guys, yes.
Yeah, needling you.
So I said the last time when people come to me and said such things, I says, well, tell John Fury I'll fight him in a ring. It's nothing to me. I'll fight him in a ring. A phone box, in fact. I'll fight him in a phone box and we'll see who comes out. I says, if he's got 350 grand to 400 grand, let's get it on O2 Arena, London. Winner take all, loser get nothing. No talking. I'm a better fighter than talker. Well, I heard nothing about it. And TalkSport got on to me the other week, which is a big international job, as you know.
Yeah.
And they asked me, what do I think about the Tyson-Paul fight? Jake Paul, and I told them the ins and outs, what I thought. Then they asked me about my career, same as you have, and I told them, very similar. He says, is there anything else? And I was going to say no. And I began to say no. I says, no, yeah, there is. And I told him what had been happening as regards this John Fury job. I says, nah, you could probably get the messages to him and through it. I says, I've had enough of it. It's got to stop. I says, so let's either fight or just shut it up.
Put up or shut up, basically,
Yes.
Steve. That's what
correct.
you want there.
Yeah. See, if it's just opportunists who know me through TV media and everything and papers, then I apologise to John Fury for what I'm saying. However, if it's not through media and papers and it is him fueling them up to come and say these things, then come on, John, grow up here, let's get in and let's get it on. I'm ready. I can train up within a few weeks and be ready. You've got age on me. I don't know how old you are. I think it's about 8 years difference. I'm older.
Just turned 60 this month, so I've read, just 60, before I start chatting with you,
well,
yes.
I'll be 68, so, you know, you've got it on your side, age. You've got it on your side with height, and you've definitely got it on your side with weight. About 3 stone, I believe. So, if this is what's happening, have the decency, and let's get it done. Before we get much older, let's settle this once and for all.
So there you have it. Steve's called out John Fury. He's done it in the right way as well, because he's already said he apologises to John if it's folk tittle-tattling and the press stirring it up. But he's deadly serious that if what he's heard has been true, he wants John to put up or shut up, basically. So we'll see if we hear any response from it. He told me off camera that he has had a phone call with John's son, Tyson Fury, in recent weeks, and he's asked him the same. Tell your dad, let's get it on. So right, everyone, thanks a lot for watching. As always, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, leave us a like, and hopefully there'll be plenty of comments on this one. Cheers, guys.